going on, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Worms, a segment on the show where one or two of us worms burrow into our favorite comics.
That's right. Today we're going to be talking about elasticity, the ability to stretch oneself.
Elasticity, a superpower as old as comics themselves.
All the way back to the 1940s when all our superheroes were overseas fighting the Nazis.
The Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
So here's our list of the top 5 stretchiest superheroes in comics and television.
In this list, we'll only be including people whose primary ability is the ability to stretch. People such as Clayface, Martian Manhunter, or Kamala Khan, the new Miss Marvel. They will not be on this list.
So here's our list of the top 5 stretchiest superheroes. Let's get to it. Starting off our list at number 5 is Helen Parr, or more famously known as Elastigirl from Disney Pixar's Incredibles.
Unlike some of the other heroes on this list, she has the most defined limits to her stretching ability. I believe it's 30 meters. And as an American, I don't know how long that is. While she was a superhero in her own right, she really came into her own after she married Bob and proceeded to raise a super family of her own. And now she's mostly using her powers to keep her family from butting heads, because motherhood is a superpower.
Moving on from Disney to DC, number 4 on our list is the Elongated Man.
Detective Ralph Dibny debuted in 1960 in an issue of The Flash. And how did he get his powers?
Wait for it. Magical soft drink.
Great stuff. Like if you're hanging up on that, why are you reading comics in the first place?
The Elongated Man actually has no limit to his stretching ability, though he does lose control the further from himself he gets. Kind of nestling himself comfortably at number 4 on our list.
Most recently, the Elongated Man made his appearance as a series regular on CW's The Flash before he was fired for being a sack of dog shit, Twitter or something for him to get fired. His ass deserved to get fired.
One can only hope CW recasts the role, because Ralph Dibny was actually quite a nice addition to the show.
Mm-hmm. Moving from DC to Shonen Jump, no list of stretchy people would be complete without the eater of the gum gum fruit and the future pirate king, Monkey D. Luffy.
That's right, son of the Revolutionary Army leader Dragon, grandson of Marine hero Garp, and member of the Clan of D, Monkey D. Luffy always seemed to be destined for greatness. But he has shown time and time again that all of his abilities take a back seat to his ability to stretch. Like the time he was sinking to the bottom of the ocean and his friend stretched his neck out to keep it afloat, or the time he fought the lightning god Inaru, falling all the way from Skypiea, or even learning he could heat up his body to move faster, stretch further, and even biting a hole into his thumb and blowing air into himself to inflate his muscles, or even creating new forms like Gear 3, Gear 4, Bound, and Snake Man.
In all honesty, by the time that One Piece is over, he could find himself number 1 on this list, but as of right now, he is number 3.
Moving from Shonen Jump to Marvel, we are now moving on to number 2 on our list, Marvel's first father, leader of the Fantastic Four, and all-around pretentious prick, Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic.
Arguably, his ability to stretch is secondary to his genius-level intellect. He has used his ability to stretch to increase his own intelligence by expanding and increasing the mass of his own brain,
or being able to focus his mass into one singular point, giving the illusion of super strength.
Due to his rubber-like nature, he's invulnerable to most forms of damage and all electric attacks, so take that, Thor.
Arguably the most iconic of all Rubbermen in comics and media, we shouldn't have to tell you much about Mr. Fantastic that the movie's already ruined for you. Seriously, why do they all suck?
Marvel did just announce they're doing a new one, though, so fingers crossed. Honorable mentions. Marvel's Thin Man, the first stretchy superhero who beat up Nazis.
Stretch Armstrong, every kid from the 80s favorite toy.
Jake the Dog, companion of Finn the Human on Adventure Time.
Rubber Band Man, arch nemesis of Static Shock.
Dulcine from the video game Street Fighter.
Gumby. Why the f*** is Gumby on this list?
And The Mask from Jim Carrey's The Mask, not the one with Cher.
You know, side note, Jim Carrey should be in an honorable mention as well because he can do things with his face that make me think he's made of rubber. Now for number 1 on our list, and was there any doubt? Patrick Ill O'Brien, or more commonly known as Plastic Man, first appeared in Police Comics in 1941 as the crime-fighting companion to the Spirit.
I did not know that. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
Yep. Much like everyone else on this list, Plas is immune to most physical damage, electric damage. Plastic Man has no real limit to his stretchiness, receiving his powers after being shot and left for dead next to a conveniently placed vat of chemical waste.
Plastic Man's shown his ability, for example, to stretch beyond all bounds. He could change his density. Of course, he could bounce along like a little rubber ball, transform into whatever he wants. This is a man who can control every molecule of his body.
Plastic Man has shown the ability to stretch, transmorph, shapeshift, change his color. My personal favorite thing Plastic Man has ever done is when Barbados comes back from DC Knight's metal and Plastic Man is released and his body reacts differently to Nth metal, allowing him to become a super-powered version of himself and transforming one finger into a Tyrannosaurus, one into a chainsaw, the rest into sharks and dolphins and whales, and he even summons a Cthulhu monster on his back to mow through the entire dark multiverse. So if there was ever really doubt in your mind who the stretchiest superhero was, now there shouldn't be. Now, if we could only get a movie. Wachowski sisters, release the script. Please.
We're not interested in Matrix 4. Release the script.
Thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Worms. We just learned who we think the stretchiest superhero is. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Be sure to check this video out. Here's one YouTube recommends for you.
Bye.